There are parts of Greece where you can see dogs like him roaming the streets, matted, sick and desperate, abandoned, forgotten. Purebred or mixed breeds, tiny lap dogs that ended up in the hands of the wrong people, bred badly, sold for money, treated as objects and dumped as if they were stuffed toys that went bad. He almost looked like he had no life inside of him. He stood there immobile while we were shaving him and grooming him and getting rid of the ticks and the dead skin and the fleas and the dirt. He just stood there, without even blinking, with his eyes wide open, barely breathing, as if he was petrified. There's no way of knowing what goes on in a dog's mind when he finds himself in such situations. Whether is all that attention threatening or relieving, whether it sees it for what it is or as a violation. It wasn't the ticks and the matted hair and the mange and the dirt that broke our hearts. It was those 2 stitches on the back of his neck, right where his microchip once used to be. A microchip that someone removed before he stitched the skin up. He suddenly looked so small, so fragile. Imagine being unwanted in a world that is 3 times the size of what it is, where everything is bigger than you, and you are the smallest and the most vulnerable of the unwanted. I cried on the way back home. Maybe not for him, but for all the dogs like him, bred badly for profit, bought out of ignorance and treated like toys. The stiffness of his body and the terror in his eyes disappeared after a few days. Wherever there was a hug available, he would jump right in it. He was so pleasant to be around. He'd make your heart smile and giggle. And as he kept recovering, he started spending more time out of the infirmary. He always looked small. He made the shelter and everything around him seem huge, but at the same time, that tiny, funny-looking dog was gaining a confidence and a self-esteem you rarely see in rescue dogs. There was something about him that made him irresistible, that made everyone want to be around him and pet him and spend time with him and just watch him be. Combo almost made you envy the person who would adopt him. Few people get to share a home with a face and a character so unique, so special. And she is one of those few. And although I envy her, and she knows it, I have to admit that those 2 are the perfect match. You know, there is a perfect person for each dog out there. Whether they find each other or not is mainly a matter of luck, I guess. Those 2 were very lucky. It's not just that they look good together, it's that she knows him. She knows how to take care of him and laugh with him and be with him in a way that no other person in the world would be with him. Combo was adopted about 3 years ago here in Greece, and he wasn't that young when he was rescued. He still comes to the shelter once in a while when his mom volunteers there, roaming around like he's the king of the place, which he is. You can see the years that have passed. You can see them in his face and in his body. And the older he grows, the younger you want him to be. You want to turn back time and enjoy him again and again as a puppy and as a teenager and as a young dog. You want to learn what it feels like to be so small in a world so big and yet feel so confident as if everything around you was built for you. What it feels like to have seen all sides of life, all shades of humanity, or the absence of it, and come out fresh and yet wise, as if you've lived many lives already, but at the same time, as if you were just born.